Hello everybody and welcome back to Typical City. Those 115 Premier League charges just will not go away. They just do not want to go away, and they are consistently being resurfaced into the media for us to read, listen to, watch, whatever it may be, and we all consistently have to listen to the waffle of 115 Premier League charges without any proof whatsoever. Rival fans, that's what they're living off right now. It helps them sleep at night because right now they want to pop the bubble. They want to shoot us down from Cloud 9. That Cloud 9's currently got a Premier League trophy, a Champions League trophy, and an FA Cup trophy on it. It's pretty good up here, really good. How are you doing down there, guys? We're doing fine, no problem up here. But they want to shoot us down, and I understand that because it is tribalism. That's what's ingrained into the nature of football. We do want to beat everyone else around us because it's competitive, and that's understandable. But these 115 charges that have been levelled at Manchester City have absolutely no proof, into the public at least, zero proof that any single rival fan is aware of. And now you enter into conversations with rival fans, the myth of no fans seems to have died down a little bit, because I think even now, even the idiots and the morons in the game of football and rival fans, even they're starting to realise they actually do fill out the stadium. When's the last time you watched a Premier League game with empty seats everywhere at the Etihad Stadium? It doesn't happen anymore. We've got 125,000 people waiting list to get a season ticket, so give over with the no fans, and now it's 115, and they don't even finish the sentence anymore. They just say 115. They can't be. They're too lazy to write the word charges. They just say 115 in whatever comment section on the social media platform they're using. That's what they do now. All you have to do is ask them, name one of those charges. Just one. Just name one. Don't get into your pocket and get Google out. Don't sneak off to the toilet to try and research some information that you've trying to save the situation. You can't do that. Name one charge. They can't do it. They don't understand what they're talking about. So they're just giving this information to make them feel better so they can sleep at night. That's unfortunate, and that's the nature of football, and it's just jealous hatred. That's really all it is. And in fact, I remember the MEN did a Snap public opinion poll that contained over 1,000 people, and 3 out of 4 people assumed City were guilty. With what proof? This is like a kangaroo court. It's like the Batman, the Dark Knight, with the Scarecrow sending people out onto the ice to walk because he's judged them guilty for whatever bollocks reason they've come up with. Go out onto the ice and walk and see if you can make it without cracking the ice and falling to your death. This ludicrous self-justice that we seem to integrate into football with no proof at all seems to be the common trend now. And social justice, that's the way it is now, isn't it, unfortunately? But now, City fans, it has been resurfaced today, but not in a bad way. We now have a financial expert, sport financial expert, and a sport lawyer expert behind us, giving us information. These two individuals, Dr. Ioannidis, Greek name, struggle to pronounce that, and Dr. Plumley, he's the sports financial expert. And they're writing in the International Sports Law Review, and they have warned UEFA that there will be mutiny. If this doesn't go their way, this is warning UEFA, because the reason why they're warning UEFA is because the financial fair play laws come from UEFA. If the Premier League charges aren't find Manchester City guilty and City find themselves innocent, the backlash, the fallout is going to be monstrous on a scale you're not ready for. Football's not ready for it. They're not ready for it, because if we are found innocent, it's the end of financial fair play. It is the end. It spells the end. There's no two ways about it, because City right now are consistently standing their feet in the ground, and every time a bit of information comes into the media, we destroy it instantly, and there's no proof, absolutely no proof. And this comes, I'm going to go into the details of what these guys are actually saying, because go and get yourself a cup of coffee, cup of tea, whatever it is, relax and listen to these words, Manchester City fans, because this is going to be music to your ears, because this is going to be reassuring beyond belief. Because right now, obviously every day you wake up as a City fan, you're happy, you're on cloud 9, but there's always that thought in the back of your mind, what if we're found guilty? What if we're found guilty? It's not going to happen. It isn't going to happen. No way is it going to happen. Right, here we go. There are different dynamics present that control the decision-making of all stakeholders. Whatever the result of the present dispute, it is almost certain that UEFA will face serious unrest from its member clubs to a point of mutiny, rebellion in other words. The financial prowess of football clubs such as Manchester City, with the expert lawyers taking apart the inefficiency and complexity of the regulations, can only demonstrate how weak such regulations are in their application. This is a lawyer talking, a financial expert talking, not me, okay? Even though I agree with everything they said. And it echoes, the evidence is echoed on the website of the Premier League. The fact that they released these charges into the public, and then you go click on the Premier League's website and read about it within the first 24 hours, all the fucking charges were wrong. Completely wrong. They had to relist all the charges. They put the wrong information out there into the public. So that's who's after us. These idiots who can't even get their own... The first point of call would be to get it right. Whatever we release into the public as an assassination or a smear campaign onto Manchester City, just get it right. The first step into the public, make sure you get everything right. So that's what you do. That's what you have to do. Wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You know, the Premier League just consistently humiliate themselves. And right now there's a white paper movement off in the horizon. There is something called the white paper movement. That those of you who don't know, the white paper movement is a government organised process that's going to introduce regulation, independently regulated Premier League, and that strikes fear into the heart of the Premier League because they can no longer pull strings like they want to. They can no longer play favouritism towards certain clubs. It will be independently regulated, and that regulation of the white paper movement being introduced into the Premier League will likely abolish financial fair play. I'm going to continue. Okay. First, so we go back to the International Sports Law Review. The Premier League would have to go beyond this. So first of all, actually, what I want to say is the UEFA CAS ruling is something interesting, actually, that I wanted to talk about because in that situation, we were proven guilty. We were proven guilty in not cooperating, okay? The smallest accusation levelled at us, we were found guilty of not cooperating. Nothing to do with the finances, nothing to do with the actual guilt that people wanted us to have. The only little morsel, little speck of guilt that came out of that CAS ruling was failing to cooperate. Oh, boo-hoo, failing to cooperate. Wouldn't you? You know, if you know you're innocent, you wouldn't. You know, if a policeman comes knocking on your door and you're a completely law-abiding citizen, you've done nothing wrong in your life, policeman comes knocking on your door, says, I'm going to search every single drawer in your house. I want to tear your house to bits and find something illegal in your house. I'm going to do it. You're not going to let him in, are you? You're going to say, get your fucking court order. Bog off, mate. See you later. No chance. Not a chance. And that's me failing to cooperate, is it? I'm fine with that. No worries. I will fail to cooperate. No problem. But the difference this time is in the Premier League situation, there's no ambiguity. There's going to be nothing in between. It's going to be black or white, guilty or innocent. And I can't wait. I can't wait because the chances of City coming out smelling of roses, beautiful blue roses, is going to be fantastic. It really is. The chances are high, very high. So I'm going to continue with that. It would not be good enough for the Premier League to argue that Manchester City failed to cooperate with the Premier League's investigation. The Premier League would have to go beyond this by proving that Manchester City, as a matter of fact and evidence, failed to produce accurate financial information and or lied about it in relation to their revenue within the meaning of the current regulations. This is not an easy burden for the Premier League, but it should not be easy because the allegations produced are of a very serious nature. Should the Premier League be able to discharge such a burden, the burden will then shift to Manchester City, who would in turn have to respond and attempt to discharge it, which is a case of prove it. Prove it, Premier League. How can you prove these allegations? You need an abundance of evidence to prove 115 Premier League charges and financial charges of falsified sponsorships. You've got to prove it. How are you going to do that? And if you do manage to provide any sort of evidence that suggests it, City are going to be ready because you've already put those charges in place. We're well aware of what you're accusing us of now. So we've gone away and we've got probably years to resolve this ourselves and amass some information to respond to whatever charges you're going to level at us. We're going to be ready. Gun in the holster. Ready. Ka-ching. Whenever you're ready, mate. Let's fire. Let's have a shootout in court. No problem. But continuing with that, the sliding scale, therefore, of the standard of proof will be in full force and action here. Advisors must therefore make a note that the weight of the evidence and the manner in which it is presented may be the deciding factors in the final decision making of the panel. Okay, so as long as we don't go the Premier League are a bunch of knobheads, we'll probably be all right. I'm pretty sure we won't say that in court. I would. That's probably why I'm not involved in law. To be honest, I'd be like, Premier League knobheads. That's what I'd be doing. But this reminds me of the situation, and sticking with the idea of resurfacing this information, and how this, get ready, it's going to keep happening, and this is probably going to be years before we actually get to a genuine resolution to the whole outcome of this and getting the actual final black or white, guilty or innocent. It is going to be years because this is unprecedented, which is unfortunate because we now have to listen to the idiots going 115. That's it. That's what we have to do now. We have to live on that. We'll bide our time. Just be patient, because we're going to jam it down their throats when we're found innocent, because all of our success has been founded on legal finance operations, and I can't wait. But sticking with the idea of resurfacing, remember Piers Morgan? He came out with Martin Ziegler and Matt Lawton about some absolute bollocks, talking about one individual that Martin Ziegler found some information. Sources. Nobody's been named except for City, who named their individual that they're talking about. Now, Martin Ziegler, was talking about Yeba Mohammed, who had apparently, there was evidence of two £15 million instalments entering the City financial books. And there was discrepancies and uncertainties about where this money came from, okay? And this was all produced in this monstrous article in the Times, which was suggesting that City, this is evidence of financial doping, falsified sponsorships. It was all this article was about. And then at the very, very bottom of this article, there was just a little sentence, just a tiny little snippet of information from City, which quoted, "This was not financial sponsorships, this wasn't falsified sponsorships, this was investment, this was equity," as in the man is simply investing into the club. He's not sponsoring the club, it's just equity, it's investment, it's as simple as that, which makes everything that the whole Piers Morgan bit, the whole article by Martin Ziegler, absolutely bollocks, and which is why they minimised that bit of information to the tiniest of sentences at the bottom of this article, because they don't want City's information that's going to counter and contradict all the information that's been given to the general public, and these false accusations that are seeing 1,000 people vote 3 in 4 guilty for. All that information is not being given. The counter argument, they bury that, they get rid of it, they don't want people to see that. But it'll all come out eventually, and this is further evidence that City, there's something bubbling under the surface here, and this is going to have huge ramifications that are going to resonate through football to the point where the game's going to change. Not on the pitch, off the pitch. It's going to change, and this is monstrous. Absolutely. The magnitude in which Manchester City could change the game off the pitch and financial fair play, they're going to eat their words, the Premier League, and they're going to regret opening this can of worms that they have done, because if they do find themselves in a position where City are now innocent and financial fair play is done with, then financial fair play is done with. Imagine what we can spend, because right now we're a self-sustaining club that spends what we earn. We abide by the laws of financial fair play, because those are the shite rules that are being bent by Chelsea and United and finding loopholes left, right and centre. But we're abiding by them, okay? And when those rules are gone, that state ownership model, and Newcastle as well, they'll be benefiting from this, because they will be able to go cha-ching, 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 spending money again as much as they want. So they're going to have to use the white paper movement to bring in a real financial self-sustaining model that actually works, one that makes sense, one that doesn't benefit United and Arsenal and the red cartel clubs, one that doesn't benefit them, one that allows clubs from the lower leagues to grow, one that allows everyone to spend within reason. Obviously, the protection idea, I agree with the protection idea of looking after the club's self-interest, so you don't get a situation like Bury where the club goes into liquidation and now there are no longer is a Bury football club anymore. It's a sad day. That's terrible. You can't allow that to happen in football, where one man can just destroy a football club. I agree with that completely. This isn't that, though. Financial fair play is beyond that. It's a case of keeping the top at the top and the bottom at the bottom. That's all it does, because there is no way you can get to the top without spending. You have to have investment. You have to. And you can't invest more than you earn. Have you ever seen any business in the world that does that? You know, that's why loans exist. You know, because so people can do that. You take the risk, you make the investment, and you hope it reaps benefits and it bears its fruit, and then that loan can be paid back. And then, but all of a sudden, your stature in whatever business enterprise you're trying to grow in, you're growing, you're going up because you've made the right decisions. If you take the risk, that's the model that needs to be brought in and introduced to fix football and allow the small clubs to grow and keep the big clubs from staying at the top. Allow some sort of circulation in football. It should be allowed. Anyway, Blues, I think this is great news. I think this is good news that we're being backed by genuine experts, information that's now being resurfaced rather than it just being 115 charges. There is evidence slowly appearing now that City are standing themselves in very good stead here. This is a solid position we find ourselves in, and the only downside to this is how long it's going to take for us to actually get to a resolution. But Blues, what do you think about this news? Are you happy with the sports experts, the lawyer experts, the financial experts coming out with this information that monstrously helps Manchester City Football Club? Get your comments in below. I want to hear them. Like and subscribe. Typical City is the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.
This is Typical City.